Online marketing is moving so fast and you're probably exhausted trying to keep up with whatever's supposed to be working any given week. It's fair to assume that anything from a few years ago has stopped working now. At least 99% of it has, because there are 3 systems that I've used every single year for over a decade now to average over $5 million a year. And they're only getting more effective the more everyone else is getting distracted chasing the new latest trend. And so in this video, I'm going to reveal all 3, how they work and why they work. And each one alone can help you generate more qualified leads, produce more sales, and increase your profit. But combine all 3 and you will not recognize the business that you've built in a matter of months. So here's the first one. Everyone online right now seems to be telling you that if you want to get qualified traffic into your funnels and onto your websites, then you need to be building a personal brand or producing online content if you have any hope of getting traffic, leads, and sales. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's slow and there's a bit of a flaw in the plan. Let me break this down for you. There are 3 ways that you can go about driving traffic into your business. The second one is build it. The third one is borrow it. And the first one is the one that you want to be paying attention to. It's the build it stuff that people are telling you to focus on right now. Produce content online, build a following, put yourself out there, build a personal brand. That stuff's great and it can be a part of the bigger plan, but it takes a lot of work. It's a lot slower. You are not going to post a brand new piece of content on a YouTube channel today and start generating clients tomorrow. It's just not going to happen. It's going to take months and months and months to build that out. The third is borrow it. This is where you're finding someone else who has the audience that you want and getting in front of them. That means collaborations, deals, podcasts, getting on other people's stages. This is the stuff that takes years. You don't just get in front of someone else's audience overnight. That takes time to build that relationship. So we've got years over here, we've got months over here. This is the strategy that everyone seems to be telling you not to do, and I absolutely love it, and that is buy it. We can go to Meta, we can go to YouTube, and we can pay to have traffic in our funnels, on our websites, instantly. And what I have found in my own business is, although I'm focused on these as part of my model, I'm finding it hard to make this work. Whereas this, I've had my ads seen over 300 million times. It's the most reliable, most repeatable, most scalable traffic online. And believe it or not, right now is actually better and easier than ever for you to do this too. I'm going to tell you the old way that we used to run paid ads, and then I'm going to tell you the new way and why it's so much better. In every market, there are subsections of that market. Let's imagine that this circle here represents every available person that you could have as a lead or a customer in your industry. So if you're in the fitness space, well, let's just put a number to it. Let's say that there's 20 million people that if you were to run a Facebook ad with 0 targeting on it, and you just put the ad out there, that's how many people could see the ad. Well, within that, we've got these subsections, what I call mini markets, of people that are maybe a closer demographic to who it is that you're after, different age ranges, different interests, different levels of pain for the problem that you help people serve. And so there's all these different subsections. The way that paid ads used to work, and it was so hard and it took so long and the strategy would dry up so quickly that you'd have to go again, was that you would create an ad campaign and you would have to predetermine who is the audience that you want to show this to. So you would go and find one of these subsections. You'd find a specific Facebook group, or you would target another personal brand's Facebook page, or you would group interests together and create this little audience. Then now you're saying, I want this ad to be shown to only these people here. Now, firstly, that's a lot of work. You're having to go and do the research to find that audience. You also have no assurance that that audience was going to work any better than this audience, but you're on a tight budget. So you just can't afford to show it to absolutely every single person. So you had to do this work up front and then just cross your fingers and hope it's a good audience. Even if it was a good audience, once everyone in here has seen your ad, well, now you have what's called ad fatigue, and the ad stops converting. And when that happens, you have to go and find another group and tell Meta, now focus all the budget over here, please, instead. So that was the old way of running paid ads, and that was a few years ago. Now things are better, faster, and easier because Meta is in a position now with AI and its algorithms and all the advanced stuff that they're doing that we've got no idea about. They are able to determine the best possible person to put your ad in front of based on the ad itself. So here's where this gets really powerful. In the ad itself, we are going to make it very clear who this is for, in the copy alongside the image ad if that's what you're running, or if it's a video ad, in the script itself, you're going to be speaking to the type of person that you want. You're speaking to the pains of the marketplace. You're speaking to the dream client that you want. Facebook is going to scan that ad, all the copy. It's even going to go to your landing page and scan the landing page and read the copy and look for buzzwords and look for keywords to determine who they think this ad is best suited for. And here's where this gets really fun. You don't select the targeting. You let Meta do it. You say, I'm happy for you to run this to anyone in this gigantic market. Just keep finding me the right people. And every day, Meta's going to find you some good leads from in this one, some good leads from in here, some good leads from in here. It's going to find you the best of all of this because you let Meta do the work. It's easier for us. It's hands off, and all we have to do right now is produce great ads that look good, sound good, speak to the right person, and Meta does the heavy lifting for us. It's an amazing strategy. I've got no idea why so many people are saying, forget paid ads now, they're too expensive, they're too hard, focus on personal branding. It just creates more opportunity for me and you that are in the know. So that leads us to the second thing. Where do we send all of this traffic? There are three core parts of making sales online with your online marketing. The first is your traffic, and we've just talked about paid ads being the place to start. You've got the third thing over here, which is your sales, so actually closing deals, landing customers and landing clients. The piece in the middle that actually does the heavy lifting, well, that's your funnel. So many people right now are doing what I call funnel hopping, which means they just keep jumping from one shiny strategy to another, and they start to half build a marketing campaign, a marketing funnel, and then the latest guru from a Facebook ad tells you there's a whole new way, and so now you switch gears, you pivot, you start building something else, and you go through the cycle of just hopping from funnel to funnel to funnel, never actually fully building, never actually fully launching, and then you wonder why you're stuck. Even if you have launched one, I would hazard a guess that right now it is not performing for you. Meaning, if you are able to get some traffic, it is not doing the work required to have sales coming out the other end. I'll tell you a couple of popular funnel strategies that people are talking about right now and why I don't like them. And then I'm going to share with you the one that I am using that everyone else is telling you not to. The first one is a VSL. People say drive traffic to a video sales letter, a 10-minute video. Short, snappy, quick, to the point, says all that's needed to get a call booked on your calendar and close someone into a client. Bad idea. Doesn't work. We're at a place right now in our industry where people are unwilling to go from an ad on a page from someone that they've never heard of before, and then you just expect them to book a call within 10 minutes of getting to know you. If at best you get some calls booked, they do not close. And at worst, you will not get any calls booked at all, and you'll be wondering why the funnel isn't working. The second popular strategy right now is something like a multi-day online virtual event, like a challenge or a workshop or a boot camp. And here's the caveat. This strategy does work and does work well, but for a much later stage in your growth. I'm talking once you have $100,000 a month in your business and well over $1 million a year, then you start to add on virtual events. If you are in your infancy in your business and you're still trying to find your next few customers and clients, a multi-day virtual event is going to be so much work. It's going to be so hard to put together. There's so much nuance that you have to learn about how to structure an event so you teach just the right amount that people get incredible value but still want the next thing. It's an advanced strategy and should not be deployed prematurely. So then what is the funnel that everyone's telling you not to do that I absolutely love and have made tens of millions of dollars with, and it still works just as well today as the first time I did it? In fact, potentially even better, the webinar. This has stood the test of time. Everyone keeps funnel hopping while this webinar has just been the constant all the way through. Think about it. When you last invested in a coaching program or spent some serious money with someone, did you do it going from an ad, watching a 10-minute video of that person, and then buying something? No. You probably went into some kind of captive environment where you were able to watch a bunch of their content, feel like you built some relationship with that person, and then eventually you made a buying decision. Now, for some people, the big gurus in our space, they can do that through their content because they've already got a massive following. You don't have that right now, so we need a quick win and a scalable strategy. And that is running paid traffic into a webinar. because now we're in control of how much traffic we drive, and that webinar can do the heavy lifting for us. Webinars work so well because we take them off the social media platform that they're so distracted by, and we get them in a captive environment, either live webinars or automated webinars, and that presentation does the selling and telling and perfectly positions everything that needs to happen to lead them to the sales process. And what you'll find is you'll get unbelievably qualified prospects coming out the other end, ready to buy your stuff, and it's an amazing feeling. If you want to learn more about this, by the way, I've got an amazing webinar of my own running very, very soon. Link in the description box. I'm going to walk you through everything. I'm actually going to give you a piece of incredible software for free that's going to build your webinar funnels for you. I'm going to give you some training. We've got an amazing community. It's all free, and it's on the link in the description box. I really hope you can join us. So we've got our traffic, we've got our funnel, and the third thing we need is sales. And what's interesting about the way that I do sales, it goes against everything the sales gurus are teaching you to do, but it absolutely crushes. And I want to share with you what it is and why it works. So let's first look at the way that the sales gurus teach you to do sales, and then I'm going to absolutely rip it apart. What we do is we say, right, we're waiting for these calls to get booked on our calendar. Maybe they're hot prospects, maybe they're not as warm, but we've got them on the calendar, they're scheduled for a call, let's jump on and have a chat. So we have our call. I'm going to call this call number 1, and you'll understand why in just a minute. So you have your first call. The whole goal of the first call is to close that person. You want to make a sale. So you get your sales rule book, your sales handbook out, and you are supposed to take a prospect from beginning of the call to the end of the call. All the work gets done and you close out the other end. Furthermore, if the prospect tries to get off the phone, you don't let them. If they say, let me think about it, you're supposed to come back with a response that's already a canned reply that traps them and corners them. And with every objection, you've got a response, and you're essentially trying to corner someone into saying yes on the phone and giving you some money instead of getting off. Now, firstly, I don't know about you, even if that was to work, I don't want to do that. That feels sleamy, sleazy. Sleamy and sleazy. Sleamy and sleazy. That's worth writing down. Now, I don't know about you, but even if that was to work, I don't want to do it. That feels sleazy, slimy, it goes against my morals, my values. If someone wants to get off the phone and think about it, I should let them off the phone and think about it. If I'm on a sales call with someone else, I don't want to feel cornered. I don't want to feel stuck. If I want to think about it, I want to think about it. But the reality is, it doesn't even work anyway. Everyone that's trying to do this is getting to the same end of the call, which starts to sound a bit forced. It doesn't feel sincere. People are trying to leave. You're trying to keep them on the phone. You come across as desperate for the sale, and it becomes a bit of a train wreck at the end of the conversation. You've probably been there. Even if you build some nice rapport in the beginning, it's all undone by the end when you're so desperately and aggressively going for the sale. So what ends up happening is if you've got the smarts to stop the call here before it makes that turn, then you're going to book a follow-up. That person wants to think about it, they want to speak to their spouse, there's other things going on, so then you book a second conversation. And that is call number 2. Now, the thing about call number 2 is it's essentially a follow-up call. You've already made the offer, you've shown your hand, you've invited them in, you've tried to make the sale, you haven't got it. Now the prospect is in control of this process. They can get back to you if they want to. They might decide not to move forward. You're the one following up with them. You come across like you're chasing them. And again, the cycle continues, whereas you are the one that is desperate for the sale and they're the one that's holding all the power. So I had to think about this, and I thought there must be a better way. There must be a way for me to have a conversation that feels genuine, that I'm enjoying myself, the prospect's enjoying themselves, and we make a decision on this program together, but that out-converts what was essentially the one call close previously. And I figured it out. And like I said, it went against everything everyone in the industry told me to do. I shared this idea with some people. They told me it wouldn't work. But you know when you have that gut feeling? I'm like, I just know this will work. And here's what I did. I flipped the script and I said, I'm not going to try and sell on the first call. The first call is a chance for me to do all of the work up front, but then not actually give them a chance to join. They would join on the second conversation. I started to build this process, and the first call became something called the push call. And the push call is where you do everything that you would have normally done in a sales conversation, but when it gets to the offer, you actually push them away instead of inviting them in. There's a way to position you and your offer and what you do and how you help them. There's a way to determine if they even want to do it. And if they did, what payment plan would they want to use? You can get all of the sales tie downs that you would need to basically secure a client, but you just push them away at that final step and you don't allow them to buy. We do something called an application close. So they're essentially applying for a spot on call number 1, and then we make a decision on call number 2. And I cannot tell you how powerful this is. It removes all sales friction. You get the most honest conversations from these prospects because you've promised them you're not going to sell them on this call. Therefore, they're more open, vulnerable, and honest with you. And what's really powerful is the further along the call goes, the more they want what they can't have. The fact that they know they can't buy this thing today makes them want it all the more. And even if they were shopping around and you were one of the people they were speaking to, you are the one they most want to invest with now, as opposed to your competition, because your competition are the ones coming across as desperate, and you're the one that somehow is so relaxed and seems like you don't even need the business, that they're leaning into you and leaning out of everyone else. So that leads us to the second call. Second call is called the pull call. And the pull call is where you connect again with that prospect after the opposite has happened. Typically, first call leaves them feeling a little bit frazzled, and now they're getting cold feet, they're getting colder and colder and colder, not warmer and warmer and warmer. Whereas now with this process, you didn't try to sell them. They're feeling good. In fact, they want it all the more. So now the gap between call number 1 and call number 2, they're actually wanting it all the more. They come onto the second call hoping that you're going to invite them in. And when you do, they can't believe it. They've got their credit card ready to invest with you. And what I have found is that by breaking up the sales call into 2 pieces, the collective of both of these calls takes around about the same amount of time as the original 1 call close, but this significantly outconverts what we were doing previously. And furthermore, it feels great. It feels good to me, it feels good to the prospect, everyone's happy, and we're closing incredible clients. I've actually got a great resource that we give away for free, by the way. This is the framework for the push call. So it'll walk you through exactly what to say and do to get someone ready to buy, but they're not allowed to buy. And then you've got the pull script, the pull call, which tells you everything you need to do to then actually close the deal. Amazing frameworks. This is what my clients use and I've used to make millions and millions and millions on the phone. It's my free gift to you. There's a link in the description box to our resource bundle, and that is one of the resources in there. If you want to know how this full system works together, I've got an entire masterclass right here on YouTube that walks you through the entire thing. So go check that out. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.